Hey everyone, this is Josh from before, and I'm here with McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, Snyder Justice League Superman, and this took a long time to get here. I've had the rest of this wave for almost 2 months now, and we're just now finally getting this one shipped. It makes me wonder if there was some sort of production issue with just this figure. Like I checked, sometimes you can see like they put a sticker on here because maybe the box got printed wrong or something like that. But I haven't heard any murmurs of like what exactly happened and why this took so long to get out. But I know I'm not the only one that was having a hard time finding one. And it was extra annoying because this is from this wave the figure I was anticipating the most, mainly because not a huge like the Snyder cut doesn't do a lot for me, but I'm definitely a big Man of Steel fan, and I really love Henry Cavill as Superman. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting this guy out of the box. Let's go ahead and just open him up. So there is a version of this going around. There is a variant of this figure in his black suit that he had in the Snyder cut. But I was holding out for this one specifically because, like I said, I'm much more partial to Man of Steel. And just, because as we all know, this multiverse line is very Batman heavy. That means there's a lot of figures that are black and gray. And I've got enough black and gray guys on my shelf. I wanted some color. So as you can see, it looks pretty good. Great texture throughout his suit. That's not too deep. It's just a subtle texture, so it doesn't like scream at you. The head sculpt, people have come down on both sides about this head sculpt. I think it looks all right. I think it looks pretty good, and I think part of the reason they struggle with these face sculpts, especially live action characters, so much is, I think it's their painting method. This is purely conjecture, I don't know, but I think when you have a likeness of somebody and it's this size, like it's the size of your like thumb, I think they just put the paint on kind of thick, and just a millimeter of paint can really throw off a very delicately sculpted head like that face. And then you can see actually they missed a little bit on the eye, I think. That his left eye's a little wonky. His eyebrow seems a little close. Up there, he's almost getting a unibrow. And the hair, it could use a little definition. It's just this flat, solid color. But I think it looks all right. This cape looks okay. It's weird. I expected it to be like textured more the way Batman's was, when they do the live action characters, they go heavy with those textures. So it seems a little odd that they didn't get it in. Like if you look close, there's a subtle one, and maybe this is the production issue that slowed this figure down. You can see it a little bit up here, and then it just totally becomes flat when you get down here. But the sculpt is pretty nice. It's got this the way it's sort of folded, so it's just hanging in a way that is very like regal. But it also, and there's a little bit of a cinch there, maybe from the packaging. But it's also a little just flat, like it doesn't suggest like flying. It's just hanging there. Another one of my issues with the live action characters is they put them more in a neutral pose that doesn't quite lend itself to action poses quite as much. Start going through his articulation here. Elbows are pretty stiff, but he does get all the way up there. He's got a bicep cut that you can kind of see the gap there when you move it. Like he's got almost no movement in his torso at all as far as like ab crunch. But he does swivel from here. He turns at the waist. And he's got a little bit of side to side, but pretty rigid in the torso there. Did I move his head? He's got nice a decent looking up on his head, and the head moves pretty well. His neck's a little long. That's not a something I complain about that much. Doesn't quite get full Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he does have a decent swivel here. So if you lift his legs and swivel a little bit, you can kind of get him up there. Double knees. Ugly ball joints at the ankles and the wrists. The wrists are tucked in a little bit, but wonk wonk. So that head does allow for some nice flying, but again, this cape kind of just doesn't suggest flying at top speed the way, you know, you would expect to see Superman. His suit looks good, even though it's unpainted. It's just the flat, you know, color of the plastic. It does have a nice kind of glisten, which captures the way his suit looks on camera, like in the movies. They missed, you know, some details, but I mean, we've started to expect that they aren't going to hit all these details and bring them out, unfortunately. So it looks good. It looks better than I expected in hand. No accessories, but he comes with this flight stand, which if you've seen these before, these are pretty great. Let's get him up in here. There he is in the flight stand. He looks really good. I think this is probably my favorite of the normal 7-inch scale figures from this wave. A couple extra hands would have been nice, like just some mirrored versions of both of these. The fist and the flat hand would have been nice. Here he is with the rest of this Justice League wave, and I threw in the this old Wave 1 Wonder Woman as well, because she fits with that team, even though that figure's got some issues. Like I've been saying, I had a surprisingly good time with this wave. I tend to come down a little more harsh on the live action figures because they don't quite have the fun factor, but these did have, these are a blast to move around. There's a little more, but the Superman and the Batman, they're a little more rigid and not quite as flexible, but these guys ended up being tons of fun. Here he is with the Megafig scale figures, and again, these things are a ton of fun just due to the sheer size alone, and they're surprisingly fun to move around. They've got a lot of potential in there. Really happy with this wave, and again, I'm saying that as somebody who's not a big Snyder fan. I like these. Here he is with a couple other Superman variants from the Multiverse line, and you know, clearly the color's not nearly as vibrant as these comic book styled characters, but I think he holds his own with these guys. I think this is one of the best live action figures they've done in the Multiverse line so far. So there he is. Nice to finally have this guy in hand. I think it turned out well. I think it met my expectations. Now I just want a Man of Steel Zod and maybe Jor-El. Let's see some of those characters, because I think the designs in that movie were great. The character designs, I mean, especially of the Kryptonians. I really loved what they did in Man of Steel, and I would love to see more characters from that movie done like this. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye.